Fight Mike here. Today we're going to be going through the newest UFC fight announcements and a couple of the rumors that have been going around over the last 24 hours or so. We'll jump in with the first matchup, which is the UFC Shanghai main event. We've got Zhang Mingyang versus Johnny Walker. I don't know what Johnny Walker's been doing backstage, but the UFC staff must want to absolutely kill him by giving him this matchup. I heard rumors about this happening like a month ago when they were first putting up like a concept card for the Shanghai card, but the UFC have only dropped this fight now. When they were first making it, it was going to always be the main event, but I always thought that they would throw in like a Song Yadong main event just because no one needs to see this for more than 3 rounds. Like, it makes no sense to put Johnny Walker, a guy who it's like a challenge to make it to a decision with, and Zhang Mingyang, who only gets first round finishes. Like, why do we need to test them over 5? Tell me, like, what are we going to see in those 4th and 5th rounds that we won't see in the first 3? Nothing, because it won't make it there. But it just makes no sense. Like, why are we putting a guy who can't get out of the first round against a guy who will put everyone out in the first round, in a 5-rounder? Like, tell me this wouldn't be the best co-main event of this fight night. Like, imagine we had a Yadong versus Rob Font 5-rounder, and this could be a co-main event where we see a first round finish and we're like, yeah, let's get hyped for this like main event. Whereas now we're just going to see like a good co-main event and then know that it's just going to be, okay, we'll see a finish in the next 4 minutes. We're not going to see some technical 5-round war. Like, there's not like 7 different ways that this fight can go. There's one. It's 1 round where either one of them gets finished. Like, that's not something we need in a 5-rounder. That's a perfect co-main. But talking about the actual matchup, this is the sort of fight that Zhang Mingyang is probably going to showcase his like 19 first-round finishes and make it a 20. But this is also the sort of fight that I could see Johnny Walker somehow winning in a crazy way, like getting a flying knee KO whilst Zhang Mingyang is like pushing him up against the fence, throwing a 20-punch combination. Like, this is going to be a really weird fight. I could see Johnny Walker getting a win, but if I was to place money on it, I'm picking Zhang Mingyang via first-round KO every day of the week. There's no universe where I pick Johnny Walker in this fight. Moving on to the next matchup, we've got Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega. This is a 3-rounder, but this would have been the perfect main event. Like, this is the sort of fight where we see Aljamain Sterling win the first 2 rounds, and then Brian Ortega, like a zombie, wins the 3rd. If this was over 5, we could have seen like a really strategic grappling game plan from both of them, and we could have actually seen like a chess match over 5 after getting the excitement of seeing Zhang Mingyang brutally knock out Johnny Walker and like completely sleep him. Like, this would be the perfect follow-up to that, but this will be fun. It's a really good fight. I'm sure the grappling exchanges will be an absolute treat to watch. But I do have a couple of issues with this fight. I don't know what Sterling did to deserve another grappler. Like, he just fought Movsar Evloev, a guy that's never going to finish him. Like, just then, and he's fighting another guy who's not going to finish him on the feet. Like, surely we could have got either of these guys versus Lerone Murphy. Like, I know we're going to get some really fun grappling exchanges, but why are we rewarding Aljo after his last fight? Like, it makes no sense. And why is this on the China pay-per-view? Like, I get they're giving Song Yadong to Umar on the Saudi Arabia card in October, but like, why are we giving Umar another Saudi Arabia fight? Why are we rewarding him after losing to Merab, after rewarding him for pulling out against Sandhagen? Why not reward Song Yadong for once? Why not give him his first ever Shanghai main event? We've seen Umar fight in Abu Dhabi. We've seen him main event in Abu Dhabi. Why do we need Yadong to be fighting him in Abu Dhabi? Like, it just makes no sense. We could have seen Song Yadong in the main event against Umar. Make it Umar fight in China. Like, it just makes no sense. This is a really good matchup between Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling, but it's just going to be in front of a crowd who don't care who wins. Like, obviously, they'll be enjoying the fight. They'll be enjoying the matchup. But at least if this was on a UFC Noche card, we've got people cheering for one side. We got people cheering for Brian Ortega. But no one in the crowd's going to care who wins. They'll enjoy the fight, but they're not going to care. We just saw this with the UFC Azerbaijan card with Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree. The people of Azerbaijan were leaving before that fight. Doesn't that show you something? Doesn't that show you that in these places where MMA is not too popular, to put the home ground guys there, because that's the only people that they're going to root for, the people that they're actually going to care about. So why is this on a China card? Like, this could have been on a UFC Noche card, or even on some random pay-per-view to get some hype on some Chinese prospects. Like, what are we doing here with this matchup? Like, don't take this as me, like, hating on it just to pretend that the fight's going to be some boring grappling matchup. It's going to be really fun. The scrambles are going to be great. But this is some asleep-at-the-wheel matchmaking here. We don't need this fight. And in this case, either of these guys could have fought a striker. But I could so see both of these guys having turned down, like, fights against Lerone Murphy, turned down fights against Gene Silva, like... So I'm not 100% putting this on the UFC. Maybe it's on both of these guys. But still, we could have done better with this matchmaking. Moving on to the next matchup, we've got Arnold Allen versus Lerone Murphy. This is only a fight rumor, as I saw on Lerone Murphy's Twitter that he put English flag versus English flag. So that's either him versus Arnold Allen or him versus Nathaniel Wood, and I don't think that we're going to get that. So I like this fight. I think it's going to be really fun. If this is not in England, I'm going to tear a hole through the UFC Apex, but hopefully it's in England. I'm going to hold up some hope. But in that same tweet, Lerone Murphy said, just the question is where? Like, it's not going to be in bloody London, like, or anywhere in England. Who cares? Like, this would get a lot of pop in England. If this is not in England, oh my God, what have the UFC done? Like, this would be such terrible matchmaking if this is not in England. Like, look at the matchmaking that I showed you just before with Sterling and Ortega. Wouldn't you prefer to see Sterling fight Arnold Allen and Ortega fight Lerone Murphy? Like, maybe you wouldn't just because the matchup's probably not going to be that fun. But even then, the matchups could be fun. But, like, we could give these bigger names that have not fought a smaller name for months. We could give them these guys that are up and coming. Like, I know Lerone Murphy's the oldest prospect in UFC history, but, like... he's always going to be just a prospect if you never give him a name to make a name off. And Sterling and Ortega were those names, but they put them up against each other. And the other thing is that if you want to get a UK fan base, put these guys against people who aren't from the UK. Like, you're dividing the UK fan base, like, brutally. Like, it makes no sense why you would do that. Like, we never see two Dagestani prospects matched up against each other. And it's not like I'm saying don't do that. Do that, but in Dagestan, or do that in Abu Dhabi. Do it where there's two home crowds to root against each other, but not on some random Las Vegas pay-per-view or some random, like, fight night main event, like Apex main event, which this will probably be an Apex main event. So I just hope that this is in England so I don't have to chat, like, absolute shit about it. But, like, if it's not in England, this is absolutely terrible matchmaking. I feel bad for you if you're an English fan and you want two English guys to do well. So, not the best matchmaking there. Moving on to the next one, we've got a fight rumor of Malcolm Wellmaker versus Aleksandre Taporia. I can't remember where I got my source for this one. I'm not sure of the legitimacy of this matchup, as it's not like Lerone Murphy where he just posted on his Twitter. These guys haven't hinted at anything yet, and I've only seen it online, so I don't know if it's going to actually happen. But I hope it does. This would be really fun. This would be a really enjoyable matchup. It would be nice to see them both tested early in their careers. And you may not know this, but Malcolm Wellmaker is 31 years old and Taporia is 29. So it's like we need to get their careers underway. We can't have both of these guys going on 5-fight winning streaks before getting their shot in the rankings. We need the winner of this to be shot into the rankings. Like, this is the type of fight that we measure how skilled these prospects are. As at the moment, both of them are being really very hyped up. So we need to see the legitimacy of this hype. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this will be made. It'll be an interesting fight to see where they're both at. They're both like new age strikers, both with really clean boxing. They use their leverages really well. So it is really that new age style versus new age style. And I'd be really hyped to see who wins this fight. And I hope they do make this for the UFC 320 prelims. Maybe chuck it like halfway up on the normal prelims, or even a prelim headliner if it's a weak card. This would be really fun, and I think this would be a really good name maker for whoever can win this fight. And it would be nice to see where Malcolm Wellmaker's takedown defense is, and where Aleksandre Taporia's takedown offense is in the UFC. So I'm excited for this fight. Let's hope it gets made. Let me know what you think of all these fights in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.